Hey, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom. Quick lesson for you on, and first in a mini-series of 3 or 4 lessons looking at Michael Jackson bass lines. First one today is going to be Beat It. Pretty easy line for beginners to play. You've got a nice little riff to get your fingers around, and then some very easy sections. Now, one other thing that we're going to throw into this lesson, the original is in E flat, and if you want to play along with the record, you've got several options to play along. And the one we're going to take today is we're going to detune the E string to E flat, which is called drop E flat tuning, so that then we can use the open E string but as an E flat. So bear that in mind when we go through the lesson, that the E string, it only affects 2 notes, which will be E flat and G flat. Normally you play G flat, the 2nd fret of the E string, but of the detuned E string, detuned to E flat, it would be the 3rd fret. So I'm going to show you that in a moment, but it's a simple line to get under your fingers, and doing the drop E flat tuning will allow you to play along with the original. Before we get into just working out how to do that drop E flat tuning, if you're not a subscriber to my free monthly e-zine, don't forget to click on the link that's underneath the video. If you're watching on YouTube, head over to the website, find the subscribe page and subscribe. You get a series of 3 or 4 video stroke PDF lessons that are unique to subscribers as a thank you for entering your email address. Also, you get a free monthly video and PDF lesson that's not accessible any other way. So do go and do that, and let's head on into the lesson and let's go and look at drop E flat tuning. Okay, the easiest way to, in my opinion, to detune your E string to E flat is to do it by ear. And this is kind of working situation. Unless you've got a tuner built into your setup, you won't have time to unplug your lead, put it into a tuner and use a tuner. But you can use a tuner, and I'll quickly talk about that in a second. Basically what you do is you fret the note at the 6th fret of the E string, which is B flat, and sound the open A string and the B flat at the same time. Now obviously they'll be dissonant, but then what you do is you release, detune, drop the tuning on your E string until the wah kind of slow down until they're the same note, and then you've got that. If you're used to 4-string tuning, that should stand out for you because that's lower than the open E. Still needs a tiny bit of adjustment. That was the E flat octave I was fretting. That's another way of just checking it, that it's in tune. But that's the quickest and easiest way of detuning to E flat if you were playing this on a gig situation. The other way you could do it is fret that note, the B flat again, whether you've lessened the tuning off a bit and detuned it, and on your tuner have your tuner set to A and tune that note to A, because when you go to E flat tuning, A will be the 6th fret of that detuned E string. So those are the 2 very quick and easy ways of doing it. Let's get on with the lesson, and you can see this detuned E flat in action in the riff. Okay, the riff's the most recognisable part of the tune. Brings the tune in, it's used in the chorus. It's basically a 4-bar pattern, and which is essentially built of a 2-bar pattern that's repeated, and there's a note missed the 2nd time round in the repeat. I'll play through the pattern a couple of times with the metronome, set slow to about 112, and then we'll talk through the notes. 3, 4. Okay, and you should have heard the last note of that pattern. First time round, it's played twice. The 2nd time round, it just plays once. Right, let's go through the notes of the riff one by one. The first one is the open string, but it's the dropped E flat. We just looked at how to do the drop E flat tuning. So you've got the dropped E flat. The 2nd note is G flat, which is the 3rd fret of this of the E string detuned to E flat. The 3rd note is B flat, 1st fret of the A string, and then you're up to the octave of G flat, which is the 4th fret of the D string. So that's that 4-note pattern. Okay, the next note is down to E flat, the octave of E flat, which is the first fret of the D string, and then you go up to F, but you kind of either slide up to F from E flat, or you hammer onto F from E flat, which is the first and third frets of the D string, back to E flat, and then 2 hits on D flat, 4th fret of the A string. And they're quarter notes, but you need to don't let them last for their full duration. So very slowly, the whole pattern is, which is E flat, open E flat, detuned, G flat, B flat, octave G flat, octave E flat, E flat to F, back to E flat, 2 stabs on D flat. Now the second time through the pattern, it's identical except you only hit 1 stab on the D flat. The pattern repeats, and it repeats the whole 4-bar phrase where you've got the second time through you only hit 1 stab on the D flat. So go through that carefully. This is the most important phrase of the tune, and you've got to get it right. There's no room for deviations, and you've got to just be able to play it. And play it in time with the guitarist playing it, and just nail it every time. As I say, it's like a sub-hook of the song, and it's used in the intro, it's used in the chorus, and you just got to work on it and get it right. After that, we go to the verse, which is pretty simple. Let's go and have a look at that. The verse is a pretty simple pattern. It's a 16-bar verse made up of an 8-bar phrase played twice. Play the 8-bar phrase and we'll talk through the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then that phrase repeats. Now the rhythm's quite an interesting rhythm. You don't play on the downbeat of the first bar in a 2-bar section. You play on the and of 1. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But you do play on the downbeat the second time. If you have listened to the original, you'll hear that rhythm very clearly, but it is, that rhythm plays through the phrase. There's no variation to that rhythm. The variation comes from the notes that are being used. Start off here, the octave of E flat. Now I'm playing it the 6th fret of the A string rather than the 1st fret of the D string. That's just a personal choice. The thicker A string and playing it there gives it a kind of a meatier tone. It's a bit thinner and a bit treblier there, a bit bassier there. For me, this would be where I would play it. Feel free to play it 1st fret of the D string if you think that's a better fit for you. So first notes are E flat, then to D flat, which is the 4th fret of the A string, back to E flat, back to D flat, then you go down to C flat, and C flat is the same as is the enharmonic equivalent as it's known, same note as B natural, which is the 2nd fret of the A string, back to D flat, and then back to the original pattern, E flat to D flat. So it's only those 3 notes, E flat, D flat, C flat, 6th, 4th, 2nd frets of the A string, and you just got to get that rhythm. 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. So you just got to get that slightly off beat start to the odd numbered bars. So bar 1, bar 3, bar 5, bar 7, and so on for the next 8 bars. Let's move on and look at the only other section of the verse, which is the section between the second repeat chorus of chorus 2 and the start of the guitar solo. Okay, just prior to the guitar solo actually starting, there's a 16 bar section where Michael Jackson ad-libs vocals over the top and says beat it, beat it, beat it, that kind of section. It's after the second chorus. What the bass does is it just plays the open detune D string, so detune to E flat, remember, and it uses the rhythm that we had of the verse. I'll play through 4 bars, then we'll just talk through something in a second. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so it's very easy in terms of the rhythm, and if you listen to the original, you really hear the rhythm clearly as well. And it's just that one note, the open E flat. What you need to do though is you need to put in some muting, because you don't give those E flats the full duration, which would be those notes are much shorter and sharper, more staccato. So what you have to do is you have to play the note and then dampen it with your left hand. Play it, dampen it. So you've seen me in just to play through with the metronome just there. Do that. Now, if you've never dampened an open string with your left hand before, you'll have to just practice it, and the best way of practicing would just be to practice it, set your metronome going, and just do something like this. Have an open string for 2 beats, and then dampen it for 2 beats. So like this: 2, 3, 4. And just get used to doing that movement like that. And the reason why is because there's a certain amount of pressure you need to put on. If you put on too much pressure, you'll start to hear either almost muted notes, or you'll hear a click, and you don't want to hear anything like that. I mean, if you were playing it in a live context, you'd get away with it because it would be lost in the noise, but you want to be in control of your sound, and you want to dampen that without hearing a noise. So if you've not done that before, you will need to just work on that, and just work on it slowly and bring it up to tempo, and just develop that little technique, which is really handy when you're playing open strings.